playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime with the Sleepy Boys.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys. I hope you have yourself a nice little cup of coffee ready.
Holy shit. You are literally reiterating our intro part.
So what? How do I lead into this thing? How do we get started? There's so many ways we can go.
Why don't you just needlessly rip off of something? Welcome to Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys, where the points don't matter.
I'm trying to think about a happy, non-depressing, non-political...
Brandon.
What's that?
Brandon, the herpes scabs are coming back. Oh, that's
God.
right. You didn't take improv. Fuck, that's the problem.
No, I
here.
didn't.
Your wife takes improv.
Yeah, she did for a while. She's been taking a break. No, I didn't. I never did improv. So literally, my improv skills literally just come from me just being a ridiculous person
And bouncing off of things that I throw at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you ever. So that's the thing. Like anytime I'm terrible at unless I have something like pre-planned out. I'm terrible at coming up with like things to talk about.
Gotcha.
But I can riff on things like a motherfucker, which I guess does mean I'm really good at like yes-anding things.
Yeah, you're good at yes-anding.
So I guess I am really good at. I am in no way have ever done any training with improv. I've never done acting. The closest thing I ever did to acting
was acting like you liked being around me. I know. Brandon, I had a life-changing experience last night.
Okay.
I was in the shower. I was having my naked water time, getting cleaned up, you know.
I don't like showers being referred to as naked water time. I just found out.
So I was in the shower, and I was enjoying a shower beer as one does after they get off the clock.
I know, you showed me.
I did.
I got a picture.
And it was great. And what happened?
What beer were you drinking?
It was a Mike's Hard. It wasn't actual beer. I don't
Okay,
drink beer.
I was like, what the hell is that?
And I finished it up and was standing up, washing my hair, and I dropped a big old glob of conditioner on the floor, and then I slipped. And I'll just say I didn't hate the sensation of falling ass first onto a bottle and having it slide up inside of me. I am just a little concerned that it still hasn't come back out.
Oh man, it's gonna be a really fun trip to the doctor. Don't do any subtle movements.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Kegels, but
Sudden
like
movements.
but like it's not.
Keep your movements subtle. Yeah. Sudden movements are what's gonna get that bottle right up in there.
Yeah, like it's funny because like sometimes I'll adjust just ever so slightly, and I'll feel a tickle on the underside of my like prostate. So anyway, what are we talking about today, Brandon?
Oh Jesus, Karens.
Oh, we're just jumping. Okay, I'm down for that.
I mean, we might as well. I mean, we can talk about anything we want, but I just want to get up at the top of the episode that, hey, everybody, we're going to be talking about some Karens today.
So we both work with customers and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
you could say that. We have been in the service industry in one way or another.
And let me tell you, Karens, while it is a fun stereotype to talk about, are also some of the worst people to deal with. Now, to clarify, if your name is Karen, that does not necessarily mean we mean you. It could mean that we mean you.
Yeah, if you're a Karen and you also act like a Karen,
I believe you. Thanks.
Get
You're
your shit
the
together.
problem. Yeah.
Get your shit together. You're the reason why we call everybody Karens.
Like it's sad, but at the same time, like it's completely justified.
Mm-hmm.
But God, so give us a rundown of some of your Karen experiences, dude.
Well, so I'm extremely fortunate where I haven't directly had a ton of interactions with Karens. I don't know if it's because I'm charming and maybe Karens find me adorable, like just want to like hug and squeeze me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I personally have not had a ton of like anecdotes of Karens,
Oh my god.
like never that have happened directly to me. But good Lord, have I've been at a restaurant or two. I've been at the grocery store when it's happened and I've seen it. And all I can say is like we get so inundated with kind of things that we see on the internet that we're kind of just like exposed to
I
everything.
know you must be busy. But
Um,
I'm sorry.
I will, let me just say, there is nothing
Nikki's missing.
more surprising than seeing a Karen in her natural habitat. It's like, look, I know lions exist and boy are they majestic. But if I saw one out in real life, like not, you know, and I've never, you know, the closest I've seen to a lion in real life is when doing the safari ride at Disney World. But I can imagine that it would like just seeing like a Karen, like, you know, seeing a lion really out in its own like element without barriers or anything would be just, I would equate it to probably seeing a Karen out in the herd like, wow, they really exist.
You know, I can actually 100% tell you that it is just as terrifying to see a Karen in the wild as it would be to see a lion.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I've seen them in like out in public, and but I've never been the victim of a Karen.
Man, I envy the shit out of you.
I know because, oh man. All right, but see, here's this is the very much the difference in like our service industry. Like,
Yes, because I
like,
work at undisclosed banking financial institution. Brandon works like at a place. What do you work at?
well, okay, so I'm still working at the gift shop.
Right.
A really cool nonprofit gift shop that's located inside a hospital. So you're probably thinking of like your little like cabinet size like gift shop. No, this is a big like this could easily be the like a shop in the mall kind
Straight
of
up,
gift shop.
it could be its own. It could be its own like
Yeah, we could
really
easily.
nice place.
But then my other job. Okay, so I guess with my other job, I have interacted with a lot of Karens. Okay, so my other job is I'm a convention coordinator for Illuminidal, which is great during these times because all the conventions are canceled.
Just for those of our followers or our listeners that don't know what Illuminidal is, can you clarify what that is for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Illuminidal is an Austin-based company, and we make celebrity and custom prayer candles.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like I've got my dogs have their own prayer candles.
Okay, that's actually pretty fucking dope.
Actually, we do candles, koozies, and stuff. So I've got Gwen and Bucky on koozies too.
From the Spider-Man and Captain America series, right?
No, my dogs.
You what? You totally
Yeah.
named your dog some geeky shit like Gwen and Bucky, and I love you for that. Anyway.
Someday I want to have a little hound dog, and I want to name it Elvis.
Of course you want to name it fucking Elvis.
But so yeah, I guess, but even still, so there. Oh man, this is like the crazy thing about Karens, because you can always identify a Karen when she's in like full Karen mode.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many different subsets of levels of Karen. And
Oh,
so like
absolutely.
my level of Karen are like the nerdy Karens, where they're like, I will say social justice warrior Karen.
Is scary as all fuck.
It is. Because you want to agree with them because you know that they're coming from a good place, but they're misguided.
They're also very, very rude to people all the time.
Yeah.
And
Anybody that immediately shames you by saying, actually, just...
Brandon,
What?
I love you. I love
know.
you so much.
I know that
You are an
I'm
actuallyer.
Yeah, I am, but it's all about tone.
Actually?
Yeah, it's all about tone. Because if
Okay.
you go in it and you say it condescendingly, condescendingly.
Actually, honey, I know what I'm talking about.
Because I always do this. For me, I'm like, well, actually, and more of like an astute kind of not shaming you kind of way.
I love it when you shame me.
Well, that's different.
That's a completely different can of worms.
I shame you to build you up, if you know what I mean.
You dirty bitch. So like you said, you haven't really had a whole lot of experience with the Karens.
I've had a lot of experiences with religious Karens.
I have had a lot of experience with like the standard Karen.
Yeah.
Which you might see out in the public and all that.
The basic bitch Karen that we all know and love so much that we see in YouTube videos of public freakouts.
Those ones, yeah. So
Yeah, glorious.
The first time I ever had an experience with a Karen was back before I knew what it meant to be a Karen.
Sure.
I was in high school. At that time, I worked at the Lego store, which was a pretty sweet gig most of the time. Until you had
Yes.
those
Any gig working in a mall in a store that you really like is super exciting and has its perks, and then immediately has the worst downsides.
That's absolutely right. So what happened was I was working at the Lego store, like I said, and it was going very well until this lady brought in her son and just kind of let the kid run amok around the store.
In a Lego store? How dare that child?
No. I'm not talking about like running around looking at stuff, pulling stuff down. I'm talking about he took like 5 of our biggest sets. Like I'm talking like couple like $500 or $600 like sets, and would like drag them across the store and leave them in the corner. Like he made a pile of Legos. And then you know those like minifigure, like build your own custom minifigures areas? So this little creep grabbed handfuls of the pieces and just started throwing them around the store.
Oh God.
So me being the responsible worker that's going to have to clean all that shit up, went up to the lady very politely and I was like, "Hey, ma'am, I don't want to be rude or anything. I just wanted to ask if there was any way we could ask your little boy to stop throwing Legos around the store because he's making a little bit of a mess." To which this bitch, this fucking Karen, grabs a handful of the stuff out of the minifigure set, like builder. I'm not shitting you when I say this woman grabbed a handful of them, looked at me, and just dropped them on the floor.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta be honest, I absolutely adored my boss that I worked for back then, because like I kept my cool, very, very cool. You know me, I don't get worked up too easily.
Sure.
And I just walked to the back and I said, "Brandy, can you take over? I'm having a little bit of an issue with one of the moms out there. Her child is running amok, and I asked her to get her child to stop running amok, and she dropped a handful of Legos on the floor while I was standing there next to her." And she's like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, she just dropped a handful of Legos because I asked her to tell her kid to stop throwing Legos." To which Brandy, bless her soul, walked out there, grabbed the lady by the collar, and drug her out of the store.
Oh my Lord, that's wonderful.
Like drug her ass out of the store and told her that she was not allowed to come back to our store until she learned manners.
That's great.
And
I'm all about shaming people for not having manners.
And like I have never had a up to that point I had never had a manager stand up for like their employees as well as she did.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome because it was like, you always hear about like, well, the customer's always right. You know, you got to take care of the customer. And I hate that fucking mentality.
I hate it too because guess what? The customer is almost never right.
Like it's like if you so Karen, you know how to do my job. You know what I'm doing wrong. Then why don't
Also,
you
that's not
fucking
even
do
her
it?
like critiquing you about how your job, like how to do your job. That's straight up like, oh, you don't like when someone does this,
And like,
and then they just do it.
oh my god, I've never come closer to punching a person in the face. Well, that's not true. I've come pretty close on a couple of other occasions.
I was gonna say I could think of a few.
And Brandon, you know I'm not a violent person.
Not by nature, no,
Not by nature, no.
but
But
you can be if you need to be.
if I need to be, I'll throw hands. Yeah, absolutely. But I straight
Well,
up
also
almost
because like you also tower over most people.
exactly. I can't afford to be violent.
Yeah, because then, all of a sudden we've just got like giant man.
People
is,
will die.
Yeah. A
People will
giant
die
man
if I
goes
throw
on
hands.
rampage in outdoor mall.
I wasn't at an outdoor mall. It was you've been to that mall. It was indoor.
Yeah,
you
it's indoor,
talking-
outdoor now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I haven't been to that mall in forever, so like
I just like saying things happen at outdoor malls, okay? It is way funnier to say rampage at outdoor mall by a tall man.
okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
What happened? They ran out of churros at the stand and they told him that it was good for him to not have a churro.
Oh, fuck you. I'm not that big.
I'm
I'm little. I'm petite.
How do you spell petite?
Petite. P-E tight. But yeah, so like that was the first experience I ever had with a Karen, and I gotta be honest, it did not make me want to meet anymore.
Oh, one of these days you and I need to do, we need to do a little, and maybe we can do this, we'll do stuff like this in the future where we actually record video of us like reacting to things.
Oh fuck, I'd love that. I have several videos I want to show you for that.
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
It's not porn.
Okay.
It's homemade porn. It's different.
Oh, okay. So it's just you
It's just me in the shower
with your beer bottle.
with my beer bottle. I have the whole thing on camera. It's horrifying.
No, but I would love to do like a thing where we just watch public freak out videos and just.
Oh my god,
and
I
react to 'em.
love like watching public video, like people just not realizing that they're being recorded. It's always the best.
It's the best.
Now here's
Aaron's it's one of his biggest guilty pleasures in life.
does he still work for YouTube?
No, he works for Facebook.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what he does now. He did work for YouTube.
So
Which is how he found out about the public freakout videos.
oh my god, those are one of the things that pisses me off most about Karens, especially in today's world, is how the fuck are you going to treat these quote unquote essential workers
Oh God.
when they're just trying to do their fucking job to make sure that you can get your necessities, and you're going to treat them like shit despite the fact the world has already gone to shit and these people are being forced to put themselves in danger just to pay the bills.
And it's not like they're getting a pay raise or anything either.
They are
on
not
top
getting a
of it.
pay raise. Like, oh my God. I actually had a long conversation with my sister the other day about this, regarding how the minimum wage nowadays compared to what it was back in the 50s
Oh no,
and 60s.
we have a massive living expense to paycheck gap.
Like the ratio just does not add up, like doesn't match up, and it's never matched up for us.
For our generation.
Right. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it's all the baby boomers' fault, but like there's definitely a breakdown in what happened.
No, I'll blame the boomers. The boomers have constantly been a thorn in the side of of millennials, but then also the thorn in the side of Generation Z, or as my drummer likes to call it, Zoomers, because he is a Zoomer.
Yep. No, I hate the term Zoomer.
I love it. I think it's great.
So speaking of generation differences, because we were looking at the gaps between like income and all that from the boomers to today to like Zoomers and all that,
Mm-hmm.
we found out that there are other there's boomers, Gen X, millennials, which is technically Gen Y, and then Gen Z, and then the new one is for people born after 2013. It's like Gen Alpha or something like that.
Excuse me?
Generation Alpha. Yeah, they ran out of letters.
Calling them Gen Alpha is going to give them huge fucking egos.
No shit. Have you met?
We're just going to have a generation of Chads running around.
I would honestly
imagine the United States, but everybody in that generation is just Logan Paul.
So we were looking at that, and I figured, like, okay, so these are all very cut and dry, like broken down between generations, right?
Sure.
I found out that there are also like mid-generation type things, like people that don't feel like they really belong to Gen X or the millennials. So
I've never felt like I belong to millennials.
I feel that, but we've got a group of people technically born in either Gen X or technically born in the millennials that don't feel like they belong to either one. So what they did was they took about a 10-year gap and combined it into the Xennials.
The Xennials.
Yep.
So that would be. So
they
what
still
exactly?
So
what's the time frame of an Xennial? Is that just anybody that falls into that 10 years?
So the Xennial generation is people that were born. It was like between the late 70s and early 80s. So like Gen Xers technically are born from 1965, or depending on where you look, it can be anywhere from 1965 to 1980 or 1977 to 1985, right? And then the millennials are born.
It's like 85 to
the early 2000s.
No, I don't think it is.
Oh wait, hold up. I'm sorry. They're like growing up period. So it's for the millennials or Gen Y, it's 1981, 1996. So these Xennials are people that like don't really feel like they belong to either of them, which just pisses me off. It's like you guys get on the millennials for always talking about being like these special little snowflakes, but like look at what you just fucking did. You guys created a fucking generation just because you didn't believe that you belonged to one of the generation. Fuck you, Xennials.
I was wondering where you were going with this.
That's exactly where I was going. Fuck you guys.
I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like I kind of fit in that category of someone that's not a millennial.
Well, it's because you're a sexy boy.
A sleepy boy.
So yeah, fuck the millennials, even though we are the millennials. But fuck us. Brandon, one of the reasons I think you feel like you're not actually a millennial is I'm pretty sure that you're like Elvis's new avatar. You know?
So we're getting into reincarnation?
Yo, dude, you never know. I mean, I like to think that there's more to like the afterlife than just being dead. But there's no way for us to know for sure what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, you don't remember anything before you were born, right?
I mean, I remember some dark things, Brandon. I remember my father being so into my mother that I'd get poked in the eye from time to time.
Oh, geez Louise.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But anyway, guys, so disgusting things aside, yeah, we talked about some things that were very real. We talked about We talked about Karens and millennials and how everyone just in general sucks.
I'm sure we'll bring up Karens and also millennials and how we don't feel like one.
Yeah.
Multiple times in the future.
At least once.
Continue.